everybody, thanks for checking out the Aaron Advantage. I had a lot of great positive feedback from the last time I did this, so I'm going to do another two-part series on the Aaron Advantage Reacts. Today I'm starting off with 19 tips for getting into real estate from one of the top real estate coaches in the business, Tom Ferry. So I have not seen this article at all. This is a straight up live read and reaction. So the first thing he says, obviously, that being a new real estate agent can be scary. That is absolutely the truth, but you can also get in and have a lot of success. So that is some good stuff to know. I'm going through all of these top tips to see what he says and let you know my thoughts on those. Number one, get licensed. Kind of a no-brainer. Not sure why that's even a top tip. That's a necessity. Every state has licensing requirements. You have to have a real estate license in order to be able to sell real estate. So that's a nice, easy one. Number two, consider joining a team. He often suggests to new agents that joining a team may be the best way to go. Personally, I don't necessarily think that that's absolutely the case, and I'm saying that as a team leader. Some people thrive in team situations and team experiences, and some people absolutely do wonderful on their own as solo agents. Just because you're new to the business doesn't necessarily mean you need to be on a team to learn the ropes. If you get the right broker, they're going to teach you the right things to do and the right way to build a business so that you can be successful. So you might consider joining a team, but it's not necessarily something you have to do. Number three, consider starting as an ISSA or OSA, and basically what that means is inside sales agent or outside sales agent. Inside sales agents is a newer kind of thing that I'm hearing from a lot of people who have these larger teams in these huge metropolitan areas where you basically sit in a room and collect leads and follow up with people from online leads, cold calling, that kind of stuff. It's a good way to get yourself into the action, get yourself kind of started out learning how to discuss the different aspects of real estate, but it's not necessarily something that you have to do, especially if you're not in a huge metropolitan area with a team that has a lot of internet leads and cold call leads that you have to deal with. Tip number four, figure out if you're interested or committed. This says, I'm going to be blunt, the market doesn't need more part-time, halfway engaged agents, so you got to decide if you're just interested in this career path or if you're committed to it. And I could not agree with that statement more. A lot of people think, hey, I want to do real estate on the side, and this definitely isn't a business that you can easily get into and think, hey, you know what, I kind of want to do this as a part-time hustle. If you are really seriously interested in getting into a real estate career, you need to make a commitment to this industry because it does take a lot of time, energy, and patience to get to be successful. Most people don't realize just how much goes into everything that a real estate agent does. They see it on TV and they think, hey, I'm going to open doors and collect checks, and that is just not the case. This is a very demanding job. It can be very hard at times, so you want to make sure that you're committing yourself to being educated and as professional as possible to be successful in this industry. Tip number five, play the long game. This says you need to understand and accept that you're starting a 5-year marathon, not a sprint. Before you get discouraged, know this. Doing the things I'm outlining in this list can accelerate your progress, but it's still a process. That is absolutely 100% the case. You can hop in and get successful right away if you're well known, well liked in a community, but you also need to understand that just because you're licensed doesn't mean that everybody wants to hop out and work with you right away. They may want somebody who's a little bit more experienced, so building a good, successful business can take time. So be prepared for that. Tip number 6, know your story. Why are you getting into the business? What is the reason behind wanting to help people? What makes you different than other real estate agents? These are all questions that need answers because I tell everybody, you know, you're basically going on job interviews with every single person that you ever work with. Unless you're getting a direct referral and they're not looking at using anybody else, you need to know how to tell your story and tell it well to make yourself stand out amongst the crowd. Number 7. Track and measure everything. There are certain habits you'll want to start right from the beginning before they get difficult to adopt. Chief among them is tracking and measuring everything you do. I tell people all the time, you can't improve that which you do not measure. If you don't know what activities you're actually doing and you're not tracking what is successful for you, how do you know what to keep doing, stop doing, or start doing? You absolutely 100% need some kind of software, CRM, something that you can keep track of the activities you're doing, the transactions that you're participating in, and all of the stuff that you're doing that is generating business and knowing where it's coming from. So definitely do that from day one. Tip number 8, know the market. This says, well, yeah, of course I need to know the market. No, really know the market. The quickest way to build confidence and speak confidently is to know your market inside and out. Every market has an MLS system set up where you can get in there and do a deep dive on the data, and you need to make sure you have an immersive experience with that data to know exactly what's going on in the market. Real estate is a hyper-local endeavor. You may have information about the real estate market as a whole from the national media, but that doesn't necessarily have any impact on the stuff that you need to know about your local real estate market. And you really, really need to understand that going into any appointment. If you're walking into a listing and you don't know about the house that sold 2 doors down, but that seller does, they're not gonna think that you're the professional for them. So really get in there and learn as much as you possibly can. Tip number 9, know the answer to how's the market. You'll soon learn, especially when things get back to normal with increased social interactions, that as a real estate professional, there's one question you'll hear more than any other. How's the market? Many agents make the mistake of responding with a simple, it's good, or I'm busy, but that doesn't get you anywhere. That is not a fruitful answer. For many years, I gave the agents this script for how to answer this question, which is, it really depends. Are you looking to buy, sell, or invest? And that's a great point that he's making in this article. A lot of people think, hey, how's the market is an easy question to answer. And it's really not. You should answer that question with another question, like he says, because that's your opportunity to start the conversation to see if that person may be a potential client for you. And if you're just saying, hey, you know, it's great, I'm busy, or hey, the market's super hot if you're trying to sell, you're not engaging that person and you're not doing the things necessary to try to get yourself into a position to be their professional. Tip number 10, build your database. Again, going back to that CRM that you should have whenever you get into the business, it says upload every contact inside your phone, then consider who else is in your orbit. Family, acquaintances, club members, church members, service providers, all of these different things. This is something that I deal with my team all the time. They're like, man, I just really don't know that many people who are thinking about buying or selling a house. And I'm like, you don't know who is thinking about buying or selling a house, and so you start talking to everyone you know. It's not just family members, it's not just people you've necessarily done business with in the past. Any person you meet is a potential client or customer, so you need to get them in a place where you can regularly start talking to them, having conversations with them, and building relationships so that you find out if they are potentially a person who wants to buy or sell a home, or if they just know somebody who might. Thanks for checking out these first 10 tips on getting started in real estate. I hope you're liking these reaction videos. Let me know in the comments below.